Kenny Wink's collection of Benedict Arnold expedition items that they, spent a lot of time and a lot of effort collecting over the years. A lot of tools, musket balls, coins, and different items that they found, documented, and preserved.
Great stuff. And again, we're not going to show you everything, but let's sneak into this back room because this is reminds me a little bit, my early days of school. We didn't use these inkwells, by the way. But these are great little artifacts from the school. And there's a picture of the schoolhouse as well out there.
Yes, there is. They've tried to collect school photos of all the students and of the the Stratton School over the years, and we've had a lot of stuff brought in, even recently, just Letterman jackets and sweaters and stuff from the old Stratton High School, and quite a bit of neat stuff.
There's the yardstick that they used to hit my hands with.
Yeah, I want to avoid that.
Well, let's move forward and we'll take a look in some of these other rooms over here. And it looks like some of these photos over here show a rich history. Now, this was a game warden, right?
Yeah, Samo White was a Eustis native. He was the first flying game warden in the United States, and he did that in Alaska. He born on a farm on Eustis Ridge and ended up traveling to Alaska and stayed there, and he had quite a great career as a flying game warden and a bush pilot up there, and he stayed up there and had a really interesting life. And we have a ton of stuff that's come in over the years from his family and other people. There's a book, Samo White Alaskan, that was written by Jim Reardon, real interesting reading. And yeah, he was a real Alaska pioneer, but started as a local, raised on a farm in Eustis Ridge. And one other kind of neat thing about Samo White was while he was here, before he went west, he was a steerman on a Lombard log hauler, and we have pictures of that, and you can learn more about that if you come in and check it out.
Bit of a gearhead he was.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, he was. You had to be. You had to be a bush pilot, especially back in those early days. He was a pioneer.
Back here, this is kind of a different eclectic collection of a few different things.
Yeah, I think it's it's a lot of old pictures. I think this is just kind of like an old setting room. It just kind of gives people the feel of like what an old parlor was in the old homestead or whatever, and just got a ton of old pictures and items that people have brought in.
Let's head upstairs.
Yeah, Dead River Plantation, everybody mentions Flagstaff Village being flooded, but Dead River Plantation was one of the other communities. It didn't have like a real village per se, but there was a lot of houses, a lot of farms. It had a school, and it was on the south side of the river, and Flagstaff had the village on the north side of the river. And so a lot of people from Dead River were, displaced when the lake was created. And we have history going back even, pertaining to years before even Flagstaff was flooded. And we have old maps of where all the different homesteads were, and so you can figure out if you're out there on low water levels and whatnot, you can figure out where things were. Pictures that show the flooding in progress when they were creating the lake, and they have everybody goes to the Round Barn campsite. We have photographs and paintings and things and some information about the Round Barn down in Dead River.
That must have been quite a building when it was first put up. These are pretty surreal when you look at some of these. The flooding of the houses, kind of bittersweet.
Yeah, absolutely. Everybody was gone by that point.
Right.
But yeah, kind of sad to see your house or your store or whatever, with the water coming in over the windowsills.
Right. Immense amount of photos here, so you could spend a whole day here looking at some of those. And these are on display as well, and it looks like some craft work as well.
Yeah, this is on the Flagstaff side, and the little display is just supposed to represent the moving of the houses. A lot of the houses were moved to different places. Quite a few of them were moved up along Route 27 up in Eustis, on either side of the Cathedral Pines, really. Yeah. I mean, the first house my parents lived in, they moved up from Flagstaff, and it's it's still there today, on the side of Route 27. And some of the fun and some of the frustration is stuff comes in with no writing on it, and you have to try to do detective work to figure out, using landmarks and different things, where the pictures were or who the people might have been. And fun in a way, but frustrating in a way too. And sometimes you can do it, and sometimes you really can't. But
Right.
most, if it's a location, you usually can.